Hello and welcome. This is the sewing instructional video for the Tetiana K Studio Scoop Back Top. As the style is cut out of a stretched jersey fabric, we will be using a serger for most of the seams and a single needle for some finishing. These are the cut pieces. Just a note that throughout the video you will not see me pinning the seams together before sewing. This is only because I have sewn this specific style in the specific fabric many times and am familiar with how it behaves. As this is likely your first time sewing this style, I recommend pinning the seams before sewing. We start at the iron by pressing our neckline band in half all along its length. We also press up the hems on the front panel, the back panels, and the sleeves. Next, at the serger, we finish the hem raw edges of the front panel, the two back panels, and the sleeves. Next, we join together the neckline band at the seam. Now we sew the underarm sleeve seam by folding the sleeve on itself and serging it together. And we do this on both sleeves. Now we can join the panels of the body together, starting on the center back seam. So we serge together the two back panels on the center back, and then we add the front panel and so serge the side seams. To finish attaching the body panels together, we sew both shoulder seams. Now we head back to our iron and press all the seams that we just did. This includes the underarm seams on the sleeves, the center back seam, the side seams, and the shoulder seams on the body. As you're pressing these seams, you'll want to repress the hem up where that seam meets. We'll also press the neckline band seam and repress the fold into it. Next is probably the trickiest part of this whole style, and that's attaching the neckline band onto the neckline. The neckline band is made smaller than the neckline so that it lays nice and flat when it's sewn in. And to make sure that you're inserting it correctly, there are lots of notches along the way. So there's on the neckline band and on the neckline, there's notches on the center front, on the center back, on the shoulders, as well as on the back scoop. At your serger, you start by lining up the shoulder seam on the body with the seam on the neckline band, making sure that the next notches are lining up. So making sure that the front of the neckline band is going to be going to the front scoop of the neckline, and the back scoop will get the back of the neckline band, which has 2 notches on it. And you start serging at that shoulder seam and lining up the notches as you go, and you'll notice that you'll need to stretch the neckline band a little bit as you're serging. So go very slow, make sure those notches are lining up, and all your seam allowance is getting caught. All 3 layers of the seam allowance are getting caught by the serger. So there'll be two layers of the neckline band and 1 layer of the body of the shirt. And keep going all the way around until you meet your shoulder seam again. And you'll see that when you finish serging, it might look a little bit ruched or a little bit wonky. We're going to fix that. As soon as we top stitch it and press it, it'll look much better. So don't get discouraged. While we're at the serger, we can also set in both sleeves. Now to our single needle, we'll put in a stitch along the edge of the neckline band. This will help to flatten out that neckline band and make it nice and smooth, and to hold the seam allowance down. Once that's done, you can hop to your iron and press that whole neckline band, and you'll see that it should be nice and flat and smooth now. You can also press the sleeve seams. The last thing left to do is to sew all the hems. I'm using a zigzag machine here. You can finish the hem however you prefer. Once you finish your hem, you can give the shirt another good press all around, and it'll be done and ready to wear. Thank you for watching. I'd love to see what you made. Please share with me on my Instagram at Tetiana K Studio. Sewing kits for this style in this exact fabric and many other styles are available on my Etsy shop. The sewing kits include a paper pattern, fabric, and notions needed for your style.